Hello, everyone. This is John, and you're looking at my 12th page on my little comic book project, Phosphor, a science fiction adventure, much in the mold of Aliens and The Thing, and now I can add a new movie, Annihilation. Finally got to watch that movie the other day as it was released here in Europe on Netflix, and I can see why they released it on Netflix and pulled it out of the cinema, because it's a very art housey kind of film, isn't it? But it has monsters and people going in like a little team, and who's going to make it out? That's kind of the question. And what is the monster? And that's kind of what my comic book is about. On this page 12, you see lots of characters. Page 13, that I was working on today for about 2.5 hours. Same thing. Lots and lots of people to introduce because I have to show you what it is that they do to kind of ground you in the world that they live in, since this is not our day and age on, possibly even planet Earth. Who knows? I don't think I've actually thought about that too much because it's not really important to the plot or the main story. But there's a lot of people to introduce, and to ground you, I'm showing a day in the life, if you will, as they're going about their everyday work, lives. And that is, of course, so that you can start feeling for them and like have favorites, and then start worrying about who's going to die first or who's actually going to make it out. That's kind of the, like one of the things the genre is famous for, besides having very cool monsters, of course. Mine is more of a spaghetti monster. That's a spoiler, but. So yeah. Page 13 in full effect. These are rough things. This is not the finished art. I'm taking the Gazbot approach of doing several laps through the comic book, like making each lap count to get towards the finished art and finished everything. So this one was supposed to be all about dialogue, but it actually turned into a rough inks with lots of light and shadow as my camera is going crazy. What's happening? Okay, that's better. For full effect, lights and shadow, lots of overlays, layers and multiply layers, and not lots, but making sure I keep everything separate in case I screw up, and so I can tweak. So these particular two characters I'm drawing here are the corporate spy or supervisor and the captain of the ship, who's been taking too many risks as of late, and so the corporate overlords have sent in some people to keep an eye on him and eventually replace him. That's kind of the plan. And he knows that, so he knows he has to effectively train his replacement. But he's going for one last attempt to score it big right under their noses. So even though he's showing them the map of where they're going and where they're not supposed to go, they're not actually following that route at all. They're actually in a very different place, as other people will slowly discover, because they've been sabotaging the ship to make sure that she can't find out. And by she, I should say they, because the little guy I'm drawing in the back right now is the other spy, who's definitely making recordings and a bit of a techie. And so they need to make sure they can hide things from him. And the people who will be entering the panel right about here, just their feet though, the maintenance people, who should be on their side, but you can never be too safe. You never know who's a snitch. So that's kind of what's happening over here. So it's the upper management crew, if you will, after the last couple of pages showed a lot of the lower case or classes or laborers on this vessel, the kids who do the actual manual labor of recycling and scavenging of everything that they haul on board. So I don't think I have a lot to say. I suppose I could talk about Annihilation a little bit more. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was too slow. At least it was slow enough for me to pick up my phone and start checking Twitter in the meantime. But at the same time, it was engaging enough and intriguing enough, all the twists they had with what was actually happening, the creatures, and what was happening with the personal relationships, that I had to really, pay attention. by the end of the film, all the slow building up definitely paid off as they melt your mind with some incredible visuals and what the hell is happening. And like an indie art house film, they very much leave it to your imagination, which I really appreciated. It was really different, you know. Not different in the sense that, you know, it's not like by the end of Alien 1 or The Thing, you really know what is going on with the creature. They leave it up to your imagination as well. And I think that's part of why such films play on our fears and also maintain their popularity for so long, because we don't fill in all the blanks. So yeah, definitely want to watch if the other films in the genre are some of your favorite films like they are with me. Because if they're not, then this film is definitely going to leave you with some nightmares as well, I think. There's definitely some horrific scenes in it. So yeah, what else? I think that's really it for me. I might be watching Red Sparrow on Friday. Tomorrow's Spanish class. So it's going to be tight for time to work on the comic book. But as I've proven last week, that won't stop me at midnight to still get a half an hour up to an hour in there lying in bed with my Cintiq. I think that's one of the great things about the Cintiq, actually. In spite of the cable, I must add. I hope everyone is doing well on their projects, and I'm going to leave you with a little time lapse and speed up the video just a little bit more. There's another video behind this one, which is really the practice run I did at work. A little bit of figure drawing. I've been having fun with Google Earth and going into Street View with the what do you call it? You can zoom in with your mouse scrolling into Google Street View and really get some great shots of people going about their everyday lives for figure drawing. I found it's really good practice. And also I'm starting to draw more and more buildings and vehicles, just, you know, because can't draw faces all the time. So I'm going to leave you here. See you guys tomorrow for day 31. So I changed up this panel right here because it was really more of the same from over here and just as crowded. Hard to draw in a small space, but also I felt like I needed something visually very different from its surroundings. So I made it a top-down view with people like ants scurrying about. And then, yeah, just follow the path I've been on for these rough inks, just, you know, like adding a couple of splashes of color, getting the rough inks done, and then adding some white outlines here and there, and like over here, more shadow where it's appropriate. And I think I'm ready to do the balloons for the dialogue. Hope you guys like this page. Let me know what you think. This is Jan. I am signing off, getting tired. I think I've been on this for about 3 hours. No, 2.5. 2.5 tops. So.